wear
You should have
Candice
like a
Fabry.
red jacket.
A red jacket. Okay, we're going red jacket. So apparently we have to get a red jacket, everybody. Candice is now, I think this is the 5th time you've been on the show.
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
She is the holder of everything UWS Weekly. Candice, thank you so much for joining us. I know you've got a lot on your plate. You got an awards ceremony tonight.
Tomorrow
night. I'm excited for it. Hey, tell everybody, what's this award?
It's a great question. It's something I didn't realize I was even nominated for, but there was a woman in the network that recognized the stories last summer in The Guardian about the sexual assault I experienced. And so this is the awards of, I believe, commendation. And there's 5 of us that are receiving it for work in the game. And so just being recognized last year was rough in a lot of ways. It was great, but it was a very personal year that took a lot of emotion and therapy and reflection to get through. So certainly, a little bit of an acknowledgement from peers on some of that is always nice to have.
You posted on social media today a little bit about this opportunity. You were doing your license class while here at the convention. What are some of the things that you're looking to take away from? Obviously, this award is a big piece of it, and you're working on your license, and you're just everything fearless and capable. And Casey Courage is trending in the right direction. What are you looking to take away this weekend from the Philadelphia convention?
Yeah, it's always the people. I mean, you can't. And living, in now what I think is this post-COVID where we have so much virtual connection, but the personal side is coming back, and it's been still kind of fun to. You gotta like poke somebody, like, you're real. So it's really been great. I think that's always first and foremost, having that personal ability. But certainly I was able to catch Julianne's stitches field session this morning, so those are always great. A female coach winning a national championship with a men's team, you don't want to miss those opportunities to see those people in action, hear the way she speaks, the words she uses, because again, I mean, most of the coaching is just stealing what you like and then putting it into your own game. So
cut and paste.
100%. So it's what you like and try to apply it. So I think those are always pieces. And I think, again, this environment just continues to grow and thrive. And I love Podcast Row, just even knowing what options are there to kind of explore the game, different opinions and thoughts. So, there's so much with it. My husband is here. I don't actually see him until I go to bed. And then I'm like, oh, hey, how are you? 100%.
And that'll be 2 completely different days.
And I mean, we're just in 2 different spaces within the game, yet we're still in the game. So it's a little bit of an interesting few days. So,
yeah. And it's awesome walking around here and seeing so many females at a soccer convention. It's amazing.
The bathroom's getting a lot more crowded than it ever has.
From no line to line around, wrapping around the building, right?
Exactly. So those are always my signs. Is when the bathrooms are a little bit more crowded is how you know that things are starting to grow.
Well, then what's to say about the men? Because the bathrooms are never crowded.
I don't know where you guys are doing or what. Exactly. So.
But tell us how important it is to have female role models within the game.
I think, the fact of representation, it gives you that if I can see her, I can be her. And, I've talked to so many women really, this is my first morning. I really wasn't here yesterday, who were just talking about the fact that they saw someone in a leadership role as a female and they go, that's a potential career path for me. And the fact that when we can see it happening and see them in action, even if we have no ability to interact, that even that just little knowledge to say I could be her, I think is so crucial. And, I already mentioned Julianne Stitch, but that's a national champion of a men's team. And to see that as a career path for women, I think is the biggest thing that when we're here. So, I mean, I'd certainly, all the presenters, I love seeing, what their content's going to be, what they're going to talk about. But, there's always that little notion when it's a female to be like, come on, like it's going to be great. It's somebody else talking with a different viewpoint. Lived experiences, I think, are huge in this environment to know where people come from, why they're doing what they're doing, how they got there. And those are important pieces. And I know for me right now, a lot have been, how are you doing it all? And I always go, it's not always the healthiest thing. Like there's a lot I try to balance in all this, but I think it's, there's just a lot of cool projects to be a part of, and it's hard to say no sometimes.
Well, let's talk about one of those cool projects. Fearless and Capable has gone off the chain lately. I think a year and a half ago, just was an imagination, a thought process of yours, and now it's taking off, and people are starting to understand not just the importance of it, but what it provides for women in our space and beyond.
Yeah.
Explain a little bit about Fearless Able and where it's going.
Yeah, the mentorship, I think, as much of a buzzword as it is right now, it's crucial. And go back to the representation, right now when there is a young female that comes into my space, and I haven't done everything, and I don't always see me as, the best match to give advice. I can give something, but the fact of the matter is that this network is starting to grow, and I'm going, you know what? You need to talk to her or him. I mean, it's not definitely isolated, but again, if she can see a female doing something in her space that then motivates her, gives her that network, gives her that connection, and only just enhances the experience, we're all going to benefit.
The lived experience, right?
The lived experiences, the knowledge, the resources, and just even one conversation this morning with a female head coach at a college. We were talking about, we were similar in our graduation years of college. And those initial conversations where men just said, yeah, it's just something you're going to have to do. You're going to have to act like that or say like that. Those conversations are done.
Yeah.
It's more about being authentic and, being who you are and bringing that. And you don't have to fit a certain mold. You don't have to tolerate things.
Yeah.
That whole just this is how it is kind of going away. And I appreciate that. And I hope that, we continue to have, organizations like UWS continue to amplify the voices of females, of allies that are bringing, what women are so capable of doing to the forefront. And obviously, whenever I can add a little bit of fearlessness to anybody, I love it.
Not just fearless, but you're capable.
Exactly. You're capable
working on
of
that
great
A
things.
license. You're able to juggle a lot of things, black belts, and
I'm not the black belt. I can clap for my son while he does the black belt and have no idea what he's doing.
That's
So
okay.
it looks cool.
That's okay. He broke some boards, and that's pretty awesome.
Hey, when I can be the mom in the space and know nothing, it is beautiful. I love it. Yes, exactly. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. But again, like I said, a lot taking off, and even if I'm not a direct involvement, just knowing, there's, Jackie over there with Women Kick Balls, and I was like, dude, I didn't even want to open the first issue of your magazine about women's soccer, but it came to the house, and my daughter goes, wait, is that a magazine about women's soccer? Like, girls, is that girl? I'm like, yeah, like, this is it. And she's just like, huh. And I was like, honestly, same, huh? Like, you just haven't had that. And so, if I can support her and her initiatives, and if there's, a girl sees herself in journalism space, like, why not add Jackie as a mentor or a role model?
Exactly.
So, yeah, those are huge. So.
It's awesome. Well, let's kind of move into Casey Courage and talk about a phenomenal last season. Really, really impressive. Really enjoyed watching all of those games.
Thank you.
What kind of is the vision of Casey Courage?
One, a huge credit to Wendy for creating that, the owner. I think at the end of the day, we're simply trying to create a program where women can come in, feel empowered, feel valued, feel that self-worth of who they are on the field, off the field. And so for us, it's all about creating training sessions. I mean, really, the success, I think, comes out of the fact that we try to create really good training environments.
Yeah.
And we're not just hitting on the tactics and, the technical skills, but we're bringing in mindset. And, for some of the young women that we do get, they're coming from less than ideal situations. They may be in an environment where, the discussions of mental health are not present.
Yeah.
And so if we can give them a couple months worth of things that will be tools to take into their college or pro, seasons, I'm all for it. And so I think that's been the part that the success that came on the field last year is a complete reflection of what happens, in the training when people don't see. That's a reflection of what Wendy's values are, who she picks to come into her space, and then kind of circling around. And it was a rough summer. Like, there was so much going on with the staff that we do laugh that I think the success honestly came out of the fact that results were not the focus. It was honestly just getting day by day through it.
Baby steps.
100%. And so, just really kind of taking that step back, we looked at it and said, nobody wants trauma or, any of those big things to happen, but dang, we did a really good job in probably just focusing on being human and what you show up as every day and trying to show up as your best version. And then when it's not your best version, that's okay too.
Yeah, absolutely. You took that from your mom's podcast. I think I've heard that once or twice from your mom on the podcast, but that's okay.
I don't remember it because it's my mom, so I completely filter out anything mom says. So you guys might hear it from her. No, it is. I am fortunate. I have great parents and great parent support, and my mom being one of them, and being able to utilize tools being able to totally disagree with things she does, but then see reasons that make sense. And she's learning so much more about soccer. Like, it's fun to watch her be like, oh, what about this? And it's great. She actually is asking us a lot more during my daughter's games about development, because it wasn't that type of way when I was a youth player. So now she's like, well, wait, now this kind of, and we're like, yes, this is true development, and it's the best form. So yeah, it's cool. But yeah, she's all right.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Dr. Robin's all right.
Dr. Robin's podcast, I listen to it regularly.
Do you?
I do, because I've got 3 small children who at many times are just off the hook. And you never get the same thing every day. So I need a little Dr. Robin to tell me how to navigate the situation.
I will say, me and my sisters, we do struggle a little bit to listen to it, because we can't help but be sarcastic about the fact that we are the product of what she thinks. But as she says, and she will forthright say, I made all the mistakes to get to the point of being able to kind of share some parenting knowledge.
Yeah,
so
and she's doing that.
She does a great job. Yeah.
Yeah, you turned out all right.
I think I'm okay. Maybe we'll see how things
She
go.
dabbles in grayness.
Once in a while. My mom might have a different opinion on that too, but yeah, all good.
So you're involved in a lot of different things, though. So as well as coaching at Casey Courage, you're also coach at Ottawa University.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I came in last February. Honestly, they found me through what I was doing with Casey Courage. So again, another benefit to working in the league.
Network.
Yeah, 100%. They had heard about what I was doing, was able to connect with people in the program, and reached out and said, what do you think about coming in? And the great thing about where I'm at in my career is I do get to be a little bit picky, and it's not a lot, but I do get that opportunity. And so what was fantastic was I was able to come in. I was able to be supported as a mother. They appreciated the identities that I have with Fearless and Capable. They appreciated my U.S. soccer educator background. And so they saw benefits to what these other identities would bring to a college coach. And so, you take over a program, just like anything, there's ups and downs, but yeah, it's a bit of a commute, which is good and bad. But the commute allows me to make all my phone calls, and then I can go home and be mom. Or if I'm really upset about the training session or match, I got some time to cool.
You got time to regulate.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not right into some of those other things. But I think, anytime you get an opportunity to coach, you get a head coaching role, establish your own culture, your own values. I've been really, really appreciative of the admin. The players were fantastic. Even just their response last summer, kind of corralling them in and saying, some of you kind of know I had mentioned what had happened to me and said, hey, by the way, it's also going to be in this news article. And we don't know what's going to happen with this. And just incredible support from them, as well as the school, to be frank and honest with you. So it's been a really fun thing. And then the fall went pretty well. We hit some of the targets we wanted to hit, improved in a lot of ways data-wise from their previous season. So when you can do some of those things, you can't consider it a complete failure. You got to give yourself a little bit of pat on the back. Yeah. But there's obviously a lot more I want to do. So, as always,
it's interesting. The direction, right, and where things have come from. We did a show about soccer and the psychology and how things work as it relates to assaults and stuff. We had a panel, your mom and Wendy, and to hear your story. And I'm not going to touch much on it other than this. I just want to let you know that I'm proud as a friend to have you stand up for yourself, because not only that, it gives power back to women. And having a young daughter brings tears in my eyes, but having a young daughter, it really means a lot to me. So thank you.
No, thank you. And I appreciate it. And I think those are things that I was telling somebody today, since the stories come out, I've gotten calls from people that have told their loved ones, whether it's a spouse or a friend or, their parents finally, or from a parent who said, my kid finally told me, my child told me these are things that have happened. And you hate to hear that there's others that have similar experiences, but the fact is that this is real. This is a part of the game. And the only way we make this better and safer is that we've got to speak openly and honestly. And, I would love to say that all the pieces are out and I've kind of moved on, but we're not done. Unfortunately, there's a lot more to come in that space. But I think the overall response, for as much nerves as I have even coming into an environment like this is a lot of triggering and not knowing how people are going to respond. It's overwhelming support. And that's what I would say for anybody who is going through something or has gone through something. My healing has begun by me talking. Up front, it is 100% better. And not that you have to go on podcasts and talk about it, but just talking to others and knowing you're not alone has meant the world. And then having great people that know how to kind of support us through it it's a huge piece, especially when you're kind of unsure of what's going to happen next. But I mean, the team as well. Casey Courage last year, when we told the team what was going to happen, because Wendy was great. I said, I don't know what I want to tell the team. I don't know when. And part of that is because we know players have had experiences with sexual violence, and so I know what I'm going to say can trigger. And so how do we do that? How do we do it in a safe way? And so I said, I'm finally ready to tell them what's going on. And we had some players have some responses, and then it's our role to be there for them. And I think that's the part that it's unfortunate, but it is real. And the more we can talk, the better the game will get.
Summer of 2023 coming around the corner. UWS about to kick off. Tryouts going on for many clubs. AGM tomorrow night here in Philadelphia. What is the expectation for Courage in 2023 coming off a really good 2022?
A really good 22 season. I think, obviously the repeated success on the field would be the ultimate. Certainly would love the opportunity to get into the national tournament. That would be the ultimate. But I think at the end of the day, the same kind of foundation that we've put together, that's going to be there. Assembling all those pieces. I think Dr. Robin's back in. We have our basically our sport performance guy coming in from AGY, Jason Bells, does an amazing job with our athletes. And, Kaylin Williams, for example, is training with him year round. So you don't really get a lot better when you have Kaylin Williams in. So, those types of things are really crucial. So we're excited about those pieces coming together and hopefully providing a product that, for most being college or those preparing to play professional, here or in other parts of the world, we just hope we can create a situation where they feel like they come in, they get pushed, they get challenged, but they also get supported. That's the biggest piece. So, and I think it comes through on the field, and I love winning. So, it's certainly one of those things that the players, I think, kind of laugh, because there was a match last year that we didn't, just how timeline worked, I wasn't able to get the tactical information I needed. And so I was scrambling to go, okay, how do I get this to them? So the decision was, we set up a ladder in the garage, and I put my husband on the top of the ladder with my camera, and I had the cones.
Nice.
And I was moving cones around. And so you have, me looking up, like, cut. And so then we'd cut, and then I'd go to the next topic. And so, I mean, it really, truly is a collaborative effort of all of it. But, I mean, those are the things that you do to get through the summer to try to get the information. But, I mean, I'm sure anybody, I think there's like a dead bug on the corner because it was, the garage.
I've done that once, twice with like the NL tactical board where I'm like having to videotape myself to my coaches.
Yes.
And be like, here's what we're doing.
Yep. No, I had like the mini soccer ball. And then I think my daughter, you don't see, is like right off the camera, like building a huge cone mansion or something. And
it's like in those war movies where they have like the little slider, right, to move the pieces of the boat.
100%. That was literally it. And so I think we won. And I was
so now this season we might see it again.
Well, and then there was another tactical discussion. This is Casey Courage, if you want to know. Like, I think we had bad weather, so we couldn't train. So we're like, let's go to Starbucks. So we go to Starbucks. So it was like a weird, abnormally cold May day. And so we had sugar packets. And that's how I think I explained on a Starbucks table how we were going to play.
Just wrote the numbers down, 2, 3, 4, right?
We're going to get to it. And so it was, again, we won. And so I just go, listen, you work with what you have. You don't have to have all the fancy stuff, just some sugar packets, and you'll get out the
Who needs a VO when you have Candice and a sugar packet, right?
Hey, that's the high quality you get at Casey Courage. But no, I mean, I think it's and then it's a discussion. And, I think that's one of the things that's the coolest about this level and why it is busy. Sometimes I go, man, I would love to have a summer. But at the same time, this level, the competition, the way the conference works, all of it, it's you don't know what the next day is going to bring. You don't always know the players that you're going to have and how you're going to operate it. But what we've set up it's just too fun. It's just too much fun to kind of like pull myself away from. So,
too good to be true.
And I am very fortunate with the situation I have. I know that for sure. So
Well, last question before we let you go.
Oh no.
Who can we look out for in the 2023 season?
Kaylin, I was texting with her this morning.
Is she coming back?
Yeah, she's back.
Oh, she's back.
She's back.
You heard it here first.
Oh.
And if you look on, I think it was Twitter, there was a story this morning written about all she did. I mean, it was, I did have to laugh. I did text her. I was like, how cool is it that Sam Kerr scored on you? And I go, did you catch the backflip? And she goes, I was getting the ball out of the back of the net. I was like, dude, you know, you should at least pause and watch that happen. But no, I mean, the experience she's going to have is there. Right now, things are looking like Courtney Clausen's coming back and Abby Small's coming back. So I think a lot of that core group will be there. And as always, you know, tryouts always bring out somebody that, you know, a little unexpected. So, but I think a lot of those core, I think Nina Norshi's coming back. You know, and Nina's been killing it. Unbelievable JUCO season. I mean,
she had a great JUCO season.
Unreal.
It was different than anything. Like, we hear about the D1 athletes, D2 athletes, but to see what she was able to do at the JUCO level, look out. And so those things are, and I know she's been, you know, Wendy's a great host in a lot of ways and really, really provides an environment for, you know, a handful of our players, whether it's in her own house or others during the summer, to have a good experience. And so, just the relationship is really cool. I was recruiting one of Nina's teammates to my school, and so she was coming for a visit. Unfortunately, I got ill. I couldn't do the visit, but they were surprised Nina came in. No interest in the school because she's got another year at the community college, but she was just like, coach, and like sent me a video. And so it's awesome. Great when you have those people that are excited and wanted to make a big surprise for me. So I think the core is coming back. Katie LaForge, I think, is on board to continue to help and have that second team and continue to just foster a really good environment that women in Kansas City can rely on every summer. And that's what they need. There's a lot of opportunity, a lot of growth. Who knows? Maybe in the net of Casey Courage gets cast even further, and there's even more talent. Because again, that's the beauty of the UWS, is that talent comes from every part of the country.
The world too. I mean, from what we experienced last year, we had a lot of international talent that unexpected, but pleasantly expected. Pleasantly surprised. So.
Thank you so much. Congratulations on the award.
Thank you.
Good luck with the A license. I know that's been fun.
Yeah,
that's a good time.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for me to have to take this, but I might have to step away, see what you're going through. Your trauma, the A license.
It's all geared towards what I'm doing in my program, so that's good because it's going to be utilized right away.
Just make sure you save everything for me, okay?
Yeah, sure. I'll just,
Share
delete my name and put your name.
Share
Google Doc, absolutely. So
USSF's not listening.
Nope, not at all.
So, Candice, thank you so much. Appreciate it. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.